girl's eyes are cold and restless, wounds have almost healed. And she'd give half a Texas just to change the way he feels. Well, she knows his love's in Tulsa, and she knows he's gonna go. Well, it ain't no woman, flesh and blood, it's that damned old road he go. Oh, well, it's bulls and blood, it's a dust and mud, it's the roar of a Sunday crowd. It's the white in his knuckles, the gold in the buckle, he'll win the next go round. It's boots and chaps, it's cowboy hats, it's spurs and let it go. It's the ropes and the reins and the joy and the pain, and they call the thing a rodeo. Does her best to hold him when his love comes to call. But his need for it controls him, and her back's against the wall. And it's so long, girl, I'll see you when it's time for him to go. You know the woman wants her cowboy like he wants his rodeo. Oh, well, it's bulls and blood, it's a dust and mud, it's the roar of a Sunday crowd. It's the white in the knuckles, the gold in the buckle, he'll win the next go round. It's boots and chaps, it's cowboy hats, it's spurs and let it go. It's the ropes and the rain and the joy and the pain, and they call the thing a rodeo. It'll drive a cowboy crazy, it'll drive a man insane, and he'll sell off everything he owns just to pay to play her game. And a broken home and some broken bones is all he'll have to show for all the years that he spent chasing this dream they call rodeo. Oh, well, it's bulls and blood, it's a dust and mud, it's the roar of a Sunday crowd. It's the white in the knuckles, the gold in the buckle, he'll win the next go round. It's boots and chaps, it's cowboy hats, it's spurs and let it go. It's the ropes and the reins and the joy and the pain, and they call the thing a rodeo. It's the broncs and the blood, it's the steers in the mud, and they call the thing rodeo. Wow, wow. She was a girl on a wagon train, headed west across the plain. The train got lost in a summer storm. They couldn't move west and they couldn't go home. Then she saw him riding through the rain. He took charge of the wagons and he saved the train. And she looked down and her heart was gone. The train went west but she stayed on. And lonesome dove, a farmer's daughter with a gentle hand, a blooming rose in a bed of sand. She loved the man who wore a star, a Texas Ranger known near and far. So they got married and they had a child. But times were tough and the West was wild, so it was no surprise the day she learned that her Texas man would not return to Lonesome Dove. Back to back with the Rio Grande, a Christian woman in the devil's land. She learned the language and she learned to fight, but she never learned how to beat the lonely night in Lonesome Dove. Lonesome Dove. She watched her boy grow into a man. He had an angel's heart and the devil's hand. He wore a star for all to see. He was a Texas lawman legacy. And one day word blew into town. It seemed the man that shot his father down had robbed a bank in Jericho. The only thing between them and Mexico was Lonesome Dove. The shadows stretched across the land as the shots rang out down the Rio Grande. And when the smoke had finally cleared the streets, the men lay at the ranger's feet. The legend tells to this very day that shots were coming from an alleyway. Though no one knows who held the gun, there ain't no doubt if you ask someone in Lonesome Dove. Back to back with the Rio Grande, a Christian woman in the devil's land. She learned the language and she learned to fight, but she never learned how to beat the lonely night in Lonesome Dove. Lonesome Dove.